Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Let's begin lesson number 9. And in this lesson, inshallah, we will learn about our last phrase, which is adjective phrase, al-mawsufu wa sifatu. And then one more category of nouns that are partially flexible, mamnu'an min as-sarf, that means they do not accept tanween, and the personal pronouns ad-dama'ir, ana wa ant. So this is what, inshallah, we are going to learn in lesson number 9a. And in 9b, we have 2 or 3 different ideas that we will discuss when we start 9b. Now we have already learned 3 phrases, and we know that phrase is an incomplete sentence, we can say. It cannot communicate the meaning by itself unless we have something with that. For example, it can be a subject or it can be predicate, but it cannot be a complete sentence. We have learned about prepositional phrase, al-jar wal-majroor. Then we have learned about possessive phrase, mudafun wa mudafun ilayhi. Jar majroor, we have the example like lillahi, mudaf wa mudaf ilayhi. We have baytullahi. And similarly, we have learned demonstrative phrase in the previous lesson, which is ismul ishara wa musharun ilayhi. For example, we say hadha al-kitab, this book. And inshallah, today we learn about the last phrase, which is called adjective phrase, al-mawsufu wa sifatu. Okay, what is adjective phrase? It has 2 parts, and we know that all the phrases basically they consist of 2 parts, or we can say 2 different nouns. And we know that when we put these 2 nouns together, and when we define the characteristics like how to put them together and how to get the different meaning. So here, the first one, the noun that is being described is called al-mawsuf. So we have the noun which is being described, and then we have the adjective which is called as-sifatu. So we have mawsuf wa sifa. Now, what is the most important thing about this phrase? In this construction, both the noun and the adjective are always equal in 4 properties of the noun. So as we have learned 4 properties of the noun, do you remember what the 4 properties of the noun are? We have learned about capacity, right? We have learned about gender, we have learned about number, and we have learned about i'rab. So these 4 properties of the noun are very, very important. And whenever we talk about adjective phrase, the noun must be equal in 4 properties. For example, in English, we say a new student. So what do we have in English? We have adjective first, and then we have a noun. And M for male, yani a masculine student or male student. So what do we have first? We have adjective first, and then we have the noun. But in Arabic, it is opposite. What happens in Arabic? The noun comes first, and after that, we have the adjective. So that is the first thing that we need to remember, that in Arabic, the noun comes first, and after that, we have the adjective. So that's called mawsuf wa sifa, noun and adjective. Okay, talibun jadidun. Now we can see over here that the noun must be equal in 4 properties. So as we know that we have learned 4 properties, for example, the first one is capacity, an-nakira wal-ma'rifa, which is indefinite and definite. So talibun, what is the capacity of talibun? Is it indefinite or definite? Yes, please. Talibun is indefinite, nakira, excellent. Okay. And similarly, jadidun, what about jadidun? Is this definite or indefinite? This is also indefinite, excellent. So the first check we get over there, that it's equal in capacity. Then the second one is, as we know, is the gender. Talibun, is it masculine or feminine? masculine. Okay, and jadidun is also masculine. So the second check is gender. The third one is number. Talibun is mufrad or plural or singular or plural. Mufrad, singular. And jadidun is also singular. And the last one is the status, as we know, i'rab. So is it marfu, mansub, or majroor? This is marfu. Okay, excellent. So when we get all the four checks, that means our adjective phrase is ready. So we have to have four checks, C, G, and S, as we say, four dimensions or 4D properties of the noun. So we can see over here. And now it is a complete adjective phrase. It is mawsuf and sifa. Similarly, we say taliban, jadidan, and now again the four checks we can see over here that this is indefinite. Also, this is masculine, and similarly it is singular, and now it is mansub. So if noun is mansub, as we can see over here, then the adjective has to be mansub as well. And similarly, if the noun is majroor, as we can see over here, then the adjective has to be majroor as well. In fact, they must be equal in four properties, and we know we have as already completed the four checks. So here the same thing, four checks here and four checks here. So this is for the masculine. Now let's have a look at the feminine. In English, we say the same thing. We say a new student, but in Arabic, it has to be slightly different, as we know. So in Arabic, we say, what is the feminine of talibun? We say talibatun, right? We have to add ta marbuta. So talibatun. So now because it is like feminine, then the noun is feminine. That's why the adjective has to be feminine as well. So now we say talibatun jadidatun. It is not possible to say talibatun jadidun. That will be a mistake. Why? Because we know that in adjective phrase, mawsuf and sifa, they must be equal in capacity. So we know that this is indefinite and jadidatun is also indefinite. So the first check. And the second one, gender, talibatun is feminine. And similarly, we can see, so we can see that jadidatun is also feminine. Similarly, the number we see talibatun is 1, and similarly jadidatun is 1. And then the status talibatun is marfu, and similarly jadidatun is marfu. Now, if for some reason the case ending changes, then what happens? The case ending will change for both. For example, if talibatun becomes talibatan, then we have to make the adjective jadidatan as well. We can't make one marfu and one mansub. Of course not. They must be equal. So if it is feminine, talibatan, then it has to be jadidatan. One more thing that you need to notice, that a masculine noun, when it is mansub, it has additional alif. It has additional alif. But for the feminine noun, there is no need to put additional alif. We discussed it in the beginning of the lessons, and just a review that for masculine noun, there has to be an additional alif for mansub, but for feminine, there is no additional alif. So we say talibatan jadidatan, and if we say like, if it's like majroor for some reason, then it has to be talibatin jadidatin. Now, is it a complete sentence or incomplete sentence? When I say talibatun jadidatun, a new student, is the meaning clear? A new student, the meaning is clear. What does that mean, a new student? If you say a new student, now we are waiting, like, what do you want to say? He is a new student, or she is a new student, or the new student is intelligent, or the new student is hardworking? We have to give some information, right? So now this is why we call them phrase, because phrases are small chunks of language. Small chunks of language means they are combination of two nouns, but they do not give us a complete meaning of a sentence. So they can be subject, or they can be predicate. Only we know jar majroor cannot be subject, but the rest of the three phrases, they can be subject and they can be predicate. So if you want to make it a complete sentence, you need to provide a subject. So for example, we say huwa talibun jadidun. Now, is it a complete sentence? Yes, huwa talibun jadidun. So we will say he is a new student. And similarly for the feminine, we will say hiya talibatun jadidatun, and it will be she is a new student. So now it's a complete sentence. So we have to have subject and predicate. So either they are used as subject or they are used as predicate. So now we can see that we have used al-mawsuf or sifa, we have used them as predicate. Is this clear? This is one of the most frequently used phrases in the Quran. Very common. It's used a lot. Today, inshallah, we focus only on indefinite noun, and inshallah, in part B of the lesson, we will focus on definite noun. As we can see, talibun jadidun, both of them are indefinite nouns, both of them are an-nakira. Okay, if that's clear, then let's begin with the lesson. So, ad-darsu at-tasi'u, lesson number 9, and part A, Hamza, as we can see here, so that means A. Man hadha rajulu, who is this man? So we can see over here that hadha rajulu is ishara wa musharan ilay, which is demonstrative phrase, and we will say that this is a complete sentence now. Who is this man? So it's a complete sentence. It's a question basically, but it's a complete sentence. And the answer is huwa abbasun, simple nominal sentence. We have subject and we have predicate, mubtada and khabar. Excellent. So we will say that he is Abbas. Abbas, now we get some information about Abbas. The information is, it says Abbasun tajirun. So why do we have to say Abbasun? Because we know that subject is marfu and predicate is also marfu. So both of them have to be marfu. So we say Abbasun tajirun. Abbas is a merchant. Now, here we only know that he is merchant. But if we want to say that he is a rich merchant, now what is rich? Rich is an adjective, right? Rich is an adjective. Even if we don't know in Arabic, like ghaniyun is adjective, but in English, alhamdulillah, we know that rich is an adjective. And what happens now? We say Abbasun tajirun. So what is the subject? Abbasun. And what is the predicate? Tajirun. And so this is subject and this is predicate. And this predicate has its sifa. It has an adjective, and that adjective means that it is it's a phrase that means it is mawsuf and sifa. He is a rich merchant. So we can see over here that in English, adjective comes first, and then after that the noun follows it. But in Arabic, it's opposite. In Arabic, we have noun first, and then the adjective follows it. Then we have Hamidun Mudarrisun, again a simple nominal sentence, subject and predicate. Hamidun Mudarrisun, Hamid is a teacher. And now we have the sifa of Hamid. We say Hamidun Mudarrisun Jadidun. Hamid is a new teacher. So again, we can see here, Jadidun is new, and that means it is an adjective, and Mudarrisun is noun, as we already know about it. Okay. Now, you might be thinking like, how would I know if it's an adjective or not? So this is how we will know. Whenever you come across a new word, and please make a separate sheet on your notebooks and write over there noun, adjective, and verb. So in the category of noun, you can put noun. In the category of adjective, you can put adjective. And in the category of verb, you can put verb. And inshallah, by the end of the course, you will have your own, vocabulary, or, your own, you can say combination, or like majmua of vocabulary, where you can have them all and you can review them whenever you want to. Is this clear? Okay, now we have here, now we have ma hada. What is ma used for? It is used for ghayru aqil. So the first part was about aqil, and the second part, now we can see over here, it is about ghayru aqil. So ma hada, hada will be subject and ma will be predicate, because ma is indefinite noun, and we know that indefinite noun, generally when we have definite and indefinite noun, then the definite noun will be subject. Ma hada, what is this? Hada tufahun, this is an apple. So now we can see over here, we have nominal sentence. It's a very simple sentence. Here now we have at-tufahu, the apple, fakihatun, لذيذة. Now we can see that التفاح is a fruit, فاكهة, and similarly it's feminine, that's why it's a noun, and that's why the adjective is also feminine, لذيذة. I have a question here. Why here we have التفاح? Why? Does anyone remember? I gave you example from the Quran as well. So what happened here? Generally when we mention a noun for the first time, and if it is an indefinite noun, it remains indefinite noun. But the same noun, if we mention it again, then it becomes a definite noun. So here it is a nakira, but here it becomes marifa. Why it becomes marifa? Because we are discussing it, or we are talking about it for the second time. And in English, I gave you the example. I have a pen. The pen is blue. So when I talk about the pen for the first time, it is indefinite. But when I talk about the same pen for the second time, it becomes definite. التفاح فاكهة لذيذة. The apple is a delicious fruit. Now we can see that فاكهة is a noun and لذيذة is adjective. So this is موصوف and this is صفة. ما ذلك? What is that? And ذلك عصفور, that is a sparrow. Now again we can see that tufah is غير عاقل, so we have ma over here. Similarly, عصفور is غير عاقل, so that's why we have ma over here as well. ذلك عصفور, that is a sparrow. Now when we mention this the same bird again, so we will say العصفور طائر صغير. So al-asfuru will be subject, and ta'irun is the predicate, and the sifa of ta'irun is what? Saghirun. So this is the adjective. The sparrow is a small bird. Now we can see over here that this is noun and this is adjective. And try to memorize the meaning, I mean the vocab in Arabic as well. So we will say this is mawsuf and this is sifa, noun and adjective. Then we have al-arabiyatu lughatun sahlatun. The Arabic is an easy language. So lughatun, as we know, is mawsuf and sahlatun is sifa. And this is noun and this is adjective. Now, why do we have lughatun sahlatun? Because we know al-arabiyatu is feminine and this is subject, and lughatun is predicate. And we know that subject and predicate are equal in gender. Similarly, mawsuf is feminine, and that's why the sifa is also feminine. Lughatun sahlatun. Then we have Ammarun, Talibun, Mujtahidun. Ammar is a hardworking student. So Talibun is noun, and the adjective that we are using for the noun is Mujtahidun. Ammar is a hardworking student. Wa and Mahmudun, Talibun, Kaslanu. And Mahmud is a lazy student. Now what happened over here? Here we have Mujtahidun and it has tanween. But here we have kaslanu and it does not have tanween. What does that mean? It's a diptot. Excellent. It is mamnu min as-sarf. Why is it mamnu min as-sarf? Because it is an adjective and it ends with alif and noon. So if a word is adjective and if it ends with alif and noon, then it will be mamnu min as-sarf, as we can see over here. Adjectives that end with alif and noon don't accept tanween. We learned earlier, like a noun that ends with adjective with alif and noon that does not accept tanween. For example, Imranu wa Salmanu, or similarly we have learned Uthmanu, and now we are learning that if an adjective ends with alif and noon, it does not accept tanween. And the translation is here: Ammar is a hardworking student, and Mahmud is a lazy student. So this is very important thing that we need to remember. Man anta. Now we have the introduction of personal pronoun, ad-damir, as we call that. Man anta, who are you? So anta, if it is for the masculine, then it comes with fatha. For the masculine, it comes with fatha. Man anta, who are you? And how do we know it is used for the masculine? We can see here that the person says, Ana talibun, I am a student. And we can see that Ana means I, and talibun is student. So I am a student. Now the next sentence is أأنت طالب جديد. Are you a new student? So again, we have a موصوف and صفة. Are you a new student? And he says نعم, yes. أنا طالب جديد. I am a new student. So now we can see over here that noun and adjective, موصوف and صفة, are always equal in 4 properties of the noun. And inshallah, I'm sure that you have learned all the 4 properties of the noun in detail and you have memorized them. Now we can see here that kaslanu is mamnu min as-sarf. It's a diptote, partially flexible noun. I gave you 5 or 6 categories. Do you remember those 5 categories where we say that the noun is mamnu min as-sarf? Does anyone remember? And the reason why we have to revise it again and again, because it's a very, very important topic in Arabic language. And this is the last topic of Medina Arabic Book 3, which is basically the last lesson of Medina Arabic Book 3. But Alhamdulillah, we have already covered 50% of this topic already. So do you remember like the categories that we discussed earlier? Like when a noun is mamnu min as-sarf? Okay, so here we have learned already that the names of prophets are mamnu min as-sarf, and there are 6 exceptions, and I'm sure inshallah you remember those 6 exceptions like Muhammadun, Nuhun, Lutun, Hudun, Salihun, and Shu'aibun. And these are 6 exceptions, and the rest of the nouns, the names of the prophets like Ibrahimu, Ismailu, Yaqubu, Yunusu, all of them are partially flexible. That means they do not accept tanween. Then we have seen that the name of Arabic women like Aishatu, Aminatu, Zainabu, they are also mamnu min as-sarf. They do not accept tanween. And then we have learned that the names of the angels like Jibrilu, then similarly Israfilu, they do not accept tanween. And in the previous lesson, I guess we learned about names of cities like Makkatu and countries like Misru. They do not accept tanween. Similarly, we have learned that the masculine names that end with ta marbuta, like Hamzatu, Talhatu, Usamatu, they do not accept tanween. And we have also learned that the names, the masculine names that end with alif noon, they do not accept tanween, like Imranu, Uthmanu, and Sulaimanu. And today we have learned that the adjectives that end with alif noon, they do not accept tanween. Our lesson is finished. So please, I would like you to please make sure that you remember these categories, because this is a very important topic in Arabic language. And if you can grasp it now from the beginning, inshallah, throughout your journey of learning Arabic will be very, very easy. So I'm sure, inshallah, that you will try to remember them. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.